I knew I wanted to be a beautician because that's what they were called before when I was in around grade 3 or 4. Kids around the neighborhood, when we were very young, like in grade 2 hivi, nachukua flowers are red, nawapaka kwa lips, nawapaka charcoal kwa eyebrows. I knew since day one, this is what I wanted to do. Watu wanasema, oh, when you wear makeup, when you wear lipstick, you have no self-esteem. Let me tell you. And I put up a post, Juicy, telling women, never give any excuses for wanting to look good.
Good evening and welcome to the Late Night Business. My name is Ian Dennis and quite excited for the episode you have lined up today. Today I'm going to be having a conversation with a lady who is one of the biggest brands when it comes to makeup and it comes to makeup products. And we're going to find out how exactly her journey has been, because it's one interesting journey because I've known her for quite a while. But before I get to introduce my guest, I'd like to let you know that we are at the Capital Club, the place where you need to be if you're an entrepreneur, because at the Capital Club you're exposed to a huge network of fellow entrepreneurs and CEOs. So you're going to meet the who's who when you're at the Capital Club. And if you're someone who literally flies a lot, you can actually get access to different clubs around the world. If you're in Dubai, if you're in New York, if you're part of the Capital Club, you can actually get access to all these particular facilities. So the guest that I have today is Rose Ntong'ondu. I think I got the name right.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Nice to see you. Always
pleasure. It's been a while.
It's been a while. I think time flies so fast. I think I bumped your sister more than I bumped you.
Really?
Yeah, I'm always at Penina's place.
That's also for the pizza.
For the pizza. And it's quite interesting. But before we get into the conversation, I like just starting my conversation by knowing what exactly are you most grateful for today?
I'm very grateful for life, for my children, for my business. I'm grateful for a lot. The past 2-3 years, I've been through a lot, sick on and off. Went through a terrible divorce. So right now I'm at my best. So I'm grateful for that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what's it called? I didn't even know you went through a divorce.
I
think it was a interesting.
I'm good now.
Interesting. How's family, everybody doing?
Family's perfect. My kids are growing.
Interesting. So let me just, I think you always share your story quite a lot and how exactly it is that you went through, what's it called, growing up in Meru and the like. But primarily just, you've grown up in an entrepreneurship, or rather an entrepreneurial family. How exactly is it growing up in such a family? Because I know your sister is an entrepreneur, all your sisters are entrepreneurs. How exactly growing up in such a family?
Let me tell you, my mother was a kick businesswoman. She never even went to school. Like, I watched my mother take care of us, all of us. My dad was still there, but like watching her, it taught me that a woman can do a lot. So for us, actually all the girls are business people. The boys do other things, but the girls are doing very well. So it's a blessing having a mother, especially a woman, doing everything by herself. It taught me I can do everything by myself. So it's been a blessing. And even after my mother left, I still, like, everything that I do in my business, if I go through hardships, I try to remember how, like, what would my mother do? I remember how she tackled hardships and stuff like that. So it's a blessing.
Interesting. Yeah. So what did your mom used to do?
She used to sell cereals and in lorries. I don't even know how she did it. Like in Uganda, I don't know where she got the mind, because she wasn't learned. She knew like the channels to go through and stuff like that. So sometimes she'll be away for like a month. So sometimes, like when I see my children and I don't see them for a while, like I go to work when they're asleep, I come home, I feel pain, but I know I'm doing it for them. So it's a blessing, because just seen my mother go through that with us, it actually helps me be a better businesswoman. So,
and I know you grew up in Meru, so your mom used to bring things from Uganda?
Yes, she would take things to Uganda, bring them to Kenya, just from everywhere. It was just amazing. I don't even know how she did it. My mother could barely speak English, but she conversed with everyone. It's just awesome. I don't know that. It
becomes Meru is an international language.
She spoke Swahili, but English, like, she was able to penetrate places where if you don't have some type of knowledge, you do not. So.
All right, and so you've mentioned about your mom. I also know, I think you always speak highly about your older sister, who's also been a greater influence. So also, how was it called? Did they just pass along? How exactly?
So my sister, I remember when she was very young, I was around 4 or 5 years old. I watched her run a salon at a very young age in Meru, and she ran one of the biggest salons in Meru. I don't even know her. Like, I used to watch her, admire her, and I remember thinking to myself, when I grow up, I want to be like this one. And then it was just amazing. And then now, She runs one of the biggest salons in the States. She has different salons in different states in the US. So it's just seeing her do it. She has her own hairline. She does hair. So my sister and I are like the same but different. So I'm into makeup and skincare. She's into hair. I run a makeup school. She has a hair school in the States. I have my own makeup and skincare brand. She has her own hair products. It's just awesome. I remember we didn't talk a lot because I can say I don't really know my sister that well because she left when I was very young. But I used to watch her and just envy. Like the way she did everything. She was so young and then she was making...
Oh, she started it quite young?
Yeah, I think she started it before she was 20.
Wow.
She ran one of the biggest salons in Meru. Yeah. So then she actually went to the States and that's the same thing she does. It's amazing.
Interesting,
So like even with my business, whenever I'm going through hardships, sometimes I talk to her. Like we WhatsApp and do stuff like that. And it's like we go through the same things. It's just awesome having women like that in your life.
And it seems that you've grown around powerful women who actually go for it, which is very interesting. What are some of the, what's it called, you can say lessons that you learned from your mother that you're trying to instill right now in your particular journey? Your mother and your sister.
So my mother, number one, is I come from a family of 7. I'm the 6th one. So watching her,
Saba.
Saba, actually we were 8 one day.
Oh,
just watching the way she did things with ease. Sometimes she would go through hardships and then hide it from us. I could tell. Like sometimes unaona vitu zimekuwa mbaya, Kenya women wamekuja wamebeba vitu kwa nyumba. My mother just doesn't flinch. Unaona? And then watching the way she would say, my mother's faith in God. That's the one thing that moved me. She would say, God will provide a way. After, during the hardest of times, she always found a way. So for me, with my family, with my kids, and with my business, I trust in God 100%. I've gone through things, it's gotten to a point where, like when I was struggling, auctioneers wanatumwa na landlord. You owe more than $1 million. Like you're given 7 days and someone will come up with the money. So I never say never. That's the one thing that I learned from the women in my life.
Wow, that's very interesting. And what's it called? You've mentioned that just by having lived with your sister was very passionate about, what's it called, running a salon and you learned from her. At what particular point did you now realize that you have this particular interest that I love makeup, I love beauty? How did that particular interest come about and how was it nurtured? Because it's one of the, I think, even I was earlier in conversation earlier on in terms of getting particular dreams and interest being nurtured. How was it nurtured? How was the nurturing for you?
So for me, it's interesting. I knew I wanted to be a beautician because that's what they were called before when I was in around grade 3 or 4. I remember like Nona Nyasi ilikuwa nashuka nyasi.
Yes, I remember.
Naifunika na mawe alafu inatankala nasema ni mzungu. And then sometimes like kids around the neighborhood when we were very young, like in grade 2 hivi, nachukua flowers red na wapaka kwa lips na wapaka charcoal kwa eyebrows. I knew since day one this is what I wanted to do. I didn't know like exactly if it's skincare or makeup, but I knew stories of beauty. I knew that at a very young age.
Interesting. And at what particular point now did you, so after school, did you go to study it? I think I was just going through a research.
I studied it a little bit, and then what I did more is learn under people who were there before me. So I would contact I remember one of the first makeup artists that was really big was Fatu Hassan.
Yes, I know Fatu. Yes.
Fatu, I used to watch like every TV commercial ni Fatu Hassan.
Yes.
So I would call producers and say, "Nani amefanya hiyo?" And I'm like, God, the day that I get to see my work on TV will be everything. So they hooked me up with Fatu. I watched what she did and I was like, it's the same thing that I do. So that's what I did. And then another lady called Dr. Irene Joroge. She was one of the biggest skincare whatever in Kenya. I actually worked with her for like a year, just learned under her. So for me, it's been like watching people do it and then I perfected my art.
Interesting. And probably I think we've cut this story short because I know you've grown up in Meru. And how did you come from Meru to Nairobi? Because I think I was just listening somewhere to your story.
Wait, let me
you don't look like where you've come from.
Let me tell you, it's been a journey.
Yes.
And I keep saying, you're not your situation.
Yes.
So I remember, you see, like, penetrating. Right now, the way the industry is, it's not the way it was before.
Yes.
Like I keep telling my girls,
yes.
You guys have it easy because of social media. When I started, there was no social media.
Yes.
So it was ile word of mouth. Unatembea ni kama hoka kwa barabara ukipatiana nini. Nimeshikwa na kanjo mara kadhaa. I didn't have like
yes.
I didn't know I had to get them stamped. So for me, I remember like when I was in Nairobi struggling to make ends meet, nafungiwa nyumba na landlord, I have no rent. My rent was like 2,000 and something. And then I was like, what am I going to do? And then I realized one of the biggest things that was making me not make it, people did not know who I was. I remember approaching Nation, the Nation, whatever. I wanted to do makeup. They were like, who are you? And have you ever done makeup on a celebrity? I was like, no, I was chased away like 10 times. I'm telling you, I went to Nation, mpaka wakaniacha nikapanda juu kuona waiwa movie. It was the hardest thing ever. So like it got to a point where I was actually unable to pay rent. I went back to Meru. So my mom was like, I'm unable to send you fare anymore.
Oh, so it was after Form 4 that you came to Nairobi and you're trying to pursue this particular dream. Yes. Yes,
so I went back to Meru for a year. So my mom was like, come, we think, like, because I have no money to pay for your bed sitter. There was actually a single.
Yes.
I was like, okay. So when I went, mwezi moja ikaenda, I knew this one wants to get me married.
Yes.
I am not going back to Nairobi. So for me, I have a business, man. Me, I think very fast.
Yes.
So I told my mom, because she was in a women's group, I was like, just do this, find me 3,000 shillings. I find something to do, I will make the money myself and go back. So actually when I went back, I went with Penina, my younger sister.
Yes.
So my mom gave me 3,000 shillings from the chama. I went and bought charcoal, a couple of sacks. I sold, came back to Nairobi, even left my mom with some money.
Yes.
Came, got another bed sitter, paid a couple of months, continued with my hustle.
Wow, interesting. What were some of the hustles? Because I know you're trying to pursue this dream, but it was not giving. So what exactly were you doing then? Because I want to just paint a picture for you.
Before you could not survive with makeup in this industry. So I've sold smokies on the road. I've sold popcorn. Nilikimbizwa na kanjo. Na venye nilikuwa mdogo mshiko. Oh my goodness. The things I've seen in this Nairobi. And let me tell you, I'm so glad I went through it. Because as a woman, you know, it's very easy for a woman to give up and then people give you shortcuts. Sometimes I used to think, and I'm like, will I die? You gotta do this. But then I remember what my mother taught me and what my mother taught us. Like, never take shortcuts. So I persevered. So sold the smokies, even opened like a small hotel where I was cooking dengu and chapati and all that. So I went from the streets selling popcorn and kripo. And these crepes, I used to make them. Yeah. I found out like how to make them and popcorn and stuff like that. So I saved up, continued with my hustle. So for me, my dream and my focus was on beauty. And one of the biggest things that I wanted was to open the first makeup school in Kenya, which I did.
Interesting. And how difficult was it in during that particular point in time? Because you're like this girl chasing her dream. The industry is not yet ripe, but you're here chasing your dream. How exactly? What was going through your mind at that particular point in time? Because I think we're in an era whereby everybody just wants to become makeup by Rose in one day.
Exactly. Let me tell you, it was the hardest. Ian, I have gone through some things where I would go down, fall down, like at the end of the day, because what I used to do is like hawking. So I would borrow fare. Sometimes, have you ever borrowed fare until now? People don't pick up your call because you've borrowed from everyone. 200 shillings. So like I used to live in Umoja. So I remember sometimes I would trek from Umoja, go through Buruburu, go to town, go to study and then get a mat from there. That way I can have maybe something for a queen cake. That's what we used to call it. So now, the hardest thing was me being a woman and men seeing you desperate. It comes with a lot of... so if you're not focused, so for me, I always used to remember what my mom told me. If I wanted, I would have taken the shortcut and would have been a millionaire. Kitamba would not have struggled. But the hardships I've gone through, I remember sometimes I used to go home at the end of the day after a long day, nothing. So I would go to barber shops and salons, be like, hi, my name is Rose, I do this and this is my card. If you have clients, I can do this for you. They're like, no, we don't need anyone. Sometimes I'll go home, fall down on my knees and cry. I'm like, God, until when? And then God, imagine just the word of mouth, God just came through. And I remember a lady by the name of Susie, you know Susie Wakabi?
Yes.
As I was struggling, we conversed with Susie Wakabi on social media, just on Facebook and stuff, and she's like, I would love for you to come in, and then I can see what you're doing. At that time I had done Nation had, I had done like the Saturday magazine with no pay. So I'd worked for the Nation for 1 year with no pay. So I was still struggling, had kidogo of a name, but still was not where I wanted. So actually, Susie Wakabi opened the way for me. When she called me, she gave me, she's like, then I didn't even have makeup. I used to carry, remember those green paper bags with the calendar? Calendar for you. That's where I used to put like my 5-6 products. It was pathetic. But then, never say die. Meaning kama energizer bag. I never say die. So Susie Wakabi called me, I was like, oh my goodness, if I'm able to pay, because you know, getting rent and money for food. Sometimes I used to go hungry. I remember drinking porridge for 7 days and throwing up water because I had nothing in my stomach.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me go to Susie Wakabi. If I get this job, work for her for just 1 year, go back and rebuild my business. I actually told her that in the interview. And then she's like, I've seen your work on me, I'd love to work with you. I got the job. I started with, my salary was 20,000. Yeah. It wasn't bad. I worked my way up, and then I remember what my mom taught me. My mom taught me one thing. She taught me, if you're given an opportunity, run with it. Impress whoever gives you that opportunity. So that was my goal. I remember I didn't even have money for clothes to go to work. You know, like
yes.
It was in Valley Arcade, you know, around those areas when you have nothing to wear. I remember borrowing money to go to Mtush to buy clothes. Let me tell you, I worked my behind off. Within like 3 months, Susie was so impressed. So she gave me a job of like sales, like Mimosa before Good Life was Mimosa, standing there and talking about. One day Susie just shows up. She's like, Rose, can we have lunch? I was like, okay, we go sit down. I was really scared. I was like, no, I'm getting fired. Maybe I did something wrong. But my sales were good. She's like, I want you to get out of sales. So she gave me the title head of makeup. My salary went up.
Yes.
After another 3 months, I got manager. After another 3 months, I got not retail manager, general manager.
Wow.
I went from making 20,000 to more than 200,000 a month.
Wow.
I could not believe it. It changed my life. I changed my mother's life. I remember my dad needed an operation. So I overstayed Susie because I loved her. I loved my job. So I remember like when I wanted to go back to rebuild Makeup by Rose, because now everyone called me Susie Beauty.
Oh, because everybody, yes.
Yeah, and then everywhere Susie would be like, this is Susie Beauty. I'm not Susie Beauty, because I was running the whole company.
True.
By the time I was leaving, I remember we both broke down. But the experiences and the things that I learned through Susie Beauty were everything. Oh. I saw Susie break down, like when a shipment came in and everything was broken in the container. I was like, why is she crying? And then I would watch and ask her, like, what happens when you're manufacturing? Susie Wakabi is one of the most generous people I know. Even with like she's just fantastic. I learned a lot from that woman. She's my friend till today. Yeah. So some of the lessons and some of the things that I do, especially now that I manufacture my products from Canada and here, I remember what Susie Wakabi used to do. So for me, my journey has been through learning.
Interesting. Yeah. And what would you say you learned the most during your stint with Susie Wakabi? I
learned how to take punches as a business owner, and how to maneuver, and how to come out of, like sometimes you fall flat on your face, how to get up. You never give up. So I saw Susie do that, so it's the same thing. Sometimes I call her, I'm like, Susie, I'm stuck. Yeah. What do I do? And she'll tell me like what she did. So it's amazing. It's very good. One thing upcoming entrepreneurs don't understand, you can never do it alone.
True. I think you always have to learn.
You know, sometimes people are like, oh, I'm self-made. I am not self-made. You know, I've done things by myself, but I have learned from very great women. So these lessons, when you take them, and the other thing, never burn bridges.
Yes.
Especially people that were there before you, it doesn't matter what happened. Never burn bridges, because you might need to cross over to the other side. Yeah. So just learning from people, and then just be humble. Be humble, and it's a process. Trust the process. Always ruka ni kama, you know, entrepreneurship and success in business is like going up a ladder. You ukiruka unaweza vunjika mguu. True. So go step by step and you'll get there. Wow. Yeah. Interesting. On that particular note, you're going to take a short commercial break, and then after the break, you're going to find out how this particular transition happened from just working under Susie Wakabi, who we have had on the show actually. She's a very good friend of mine. Yeah. And then you're going to see how exactly Makeup by Rose came to be established. So see you after the break. So welcome back to the show. So before we went on a break, we were just having a conversation in terms of the initial journey that Rose had in terms of going through the mentorship, and now you're talking about the transition. So you used to work under Susie Wakabi. How did you transition now to say, I'm going to set up my own brand? And how exactly was that particular transition from employment now to entrepreneurship? So remember, before I went to Susie Beauty, I was still running Makeup by Rose, so actually under a different name. I actually used to call it Rubiela Rosa. And now my daughter, I had no idea I would call my daughter Ruby at that particular time. So when I went to Susie, I got really comfortable, but I learned a lot. For how long were you there? I was there for 3 years. Initially, I was supposed to stay for 1 year, but the opportunities were endless, because I got to do like every fashion show in Kenya, because Susie Beauty was huge. Still is. Yes. you know. But then when I told Susie, actually told her very nicely, I need to go back and rebuild my business. It was hard, it was tough. Number one, everyone knew me as Susie Beauty.
Yes.
So going back to rebuild and getting my own identity back, it was really tough. And then going from getting a salary at the end of the month to now kujitaftia tena, when you are very comfortable with a lot of money at the end of the month, it was tough. But it was worth it. And like the lessons, like I said, the lessons I learned from Susie Wakabi and Susie Beauty really helped me. But Makeup by Rose, what I did is I did what I saw Susie Wakabi do. I started doing, like, Makeup by Rose ended up doing every fashion show in Kenya. I was doing TV shows, I was doing NTV, AM Live with Kobe Kihara, we had a show. Yeah. I was doing so many interviews with Citizen TV, I was working with celebrities, politicians. So the same lessons that I learned, I put them into my business.
But what was the breakthrough? Because it was starting something and trying to, being part of a brand, now building your own brand usually takes a while. What was your breakthrough? I
think my breakthrough is when like TV stations started noticing the brand everywhere and started calling me for interviews. So I got more
visibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was getting more calls now. People wanted to know like what else that I do. So that's when I got into making my own products, which was not easy. I started with 1 and now I have 20. That's on skincare alone. And then I have a makeup line of like 40 products. It's just been step by step. Step by step, it's not been overnight. It took me, because I remember for anyone to know my name, it took 3-4 years.
Yes.
And then after leaving Susie Beauty, it took me another like 3 years for people to really know the brand. And then I quickly realized for people to trust the brand, they needed to know who I am. Yes. So before, I never even used to post my face or whatever. And then I started talking about my journey. And that's actually how Makeup by Rose was born vizuri now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to take the bold step to use your name as your brand name?
Because I wanted, number one, I didn't want it to die with me. Let's say when, God forbid, when that time comes, I wanted it to you know, continue as my name. Because it's my, Makeup by Rose is something that I've loved since I was a young baby, you know. And I decided to call my brand my daughters. Yeah. It's a mixture of my name, my mom and my daughter. So I only have one daughter. My mom was my biggest fan and my best friend. So I combined both. That way the brand makes more sense to me. I didn't want to call my products Makeup by Rose again. It's too much. I already have Makeup by Rose and then the Rubiella. So I wanted my daughter to continue, you know, with my legacy. But it's been a journey. It's been a beautiful one, bittersweet, with a lot of pain, tears, cries, kufungiwa nyumba na landlord. And then I decided the one thing, once Makeup by Rose grew, I wanted other people to learn. That's why I started the
Makeup by Rose probably is the services arm of the business.
Exactly.
So Makeup by Rose does the
makeup, the skincare, the facials, the skin tag removal, and then Rubiella provides the products and the makeup application and stuff like that. So I've separated it like that. That way, because I want, when my kids are older, around 15, I want my son to have Makeup by Rose and my daughter to have Rubiella, for them not to fight about.
And speaking about your kids, I think you were talking about earlier off camera about your intention to mentor your children. Yeah. Just take me through it. Why are you so passionate about this particular generational transfer, which is not an African thing per se? I think Africans just do our businesses.
And then you continue. So for me, I've just, because you know I'm a single mother, number one. So I look at my kids and I remember a couple of months ago I was extremely sick, sick to the point where I could not get out of bed. So I remember calling the doctor and crying, and I said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm dying." And then the doctor was like, "You cannot die, you have 2 small children." So I was severely depressed. And then I thought, what would happen to me if I died today? Number one, Makeup by Rose would be forgotten, and then what would happen to my kids? So I decided my children are not going to be lazy, and then no one handed me anything.
True.
I had to work for it. So I want the same for my children. And right now, children are so used to getting everything they want, the easy way. And then when they grow up, it's an issue. They get into drugs, they don't want to work, or I want to do this, and then they change. So I want my daughter to learn the makeup artistry, the skincare part, and the business, and my son as well. I want my son to be able to come and run Makeup by Rose, like everything, the operations. and then I want my daughter to actually be able to do it. So I want them both, and I have separated it like that so they don't fight later. And we will put it in writing by the time they are 15.
Interesting. And your daughter, you told me she's 7.
She's 7. My son is 10.
So how are you starting this particular part?
So from next week they are starting their training. JD, my son, will start on the business aspect.
So they have a JD. At 10.
Yes, 10. So and he's starting, and I'm not the one training him.
Yes.
Some parts I'll train him, but then I'll hand him over to my people. Yes. My daughter is starting on the services. Yes. Apart from the ones that I use like laser, like makeup artistry, she will start with. She already knows a little bit about it, but she will take strict lessons on the products, on everything. So even if you ask her what is makeup application, what is a concealer, I want her to understand. By the time she's 15, I want her to be able to work part-time and actually make money. Everything they have to earn.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And speaking about the business, so you've talked about you have the services arm, you have the products arm, but also you have the school. Yeah. How did the school come about, and what has been the key? Because I think you always enroll, I think, 100 students every month. What has been the key for that particular consistency?
So for the school, I quickly realized, like from my clients and from the people that were coming to me, people loved beauty, but they did not really understand it. And then I make money from it. This is what I eat. This is what pays all my bills, my salaries, everything. So I realized people can actually make something out of this. So that's the only way I can give back. So I started the school, and every month we sponsor a couple of students for free. It's teaching them, and like the business aspect. So there's where they taught about basic skincare, product knowledge, and then the business aspect. So the business aspect, the whole of it, it's actually my experiences. It's the things that I tried and tested, and they worked. Yes. So that's why I train them. So most of our students are doing very well in the industry, working for MAC Cosmetics, Lintons and stuff like that, running their own businesses. So it was just a way for me to give back and to actually use I didn't want it to die with me. It's a way to empower women. Yeah, because most women love beauty, and some of them want to. So if a woman never went to university, but she can do this and actually make money, why not?
Interesting. Yeah. And given that now you're running a full-fledged business, there's a product, there's a services, there's a school, what have been the challenges in terms of just ensuring that you have your hands, what's it called, on all this empire that you're trying to build? How exactly have you been able to sustain this? Because it's not easy. It's everything falling on your shoulder.
It's not easy, especially being a mother.
So you're a mother,
niko na school fees huku. Don't forget I'm a single mother, handling everything. I have employees, 8 of them. I have 2 nannies in the house. I have manufacturers, like I have lashes also. I have my manufacturer in China, my manufacturer in Canada. I have 2 manufacturers in Kenya. I have my staff when you wananikula kichwa, and they're all women. And then sometimes things even go wrong. And then sometimes you make a product, inaenda one ingredient inaharibika yote, the whole shipment. So if you're not careful, like before I used to like fall into almost depression. So you just have to, I've learned to get up very fast. It's just, I'm very good at multitasking. But these days I take breaks kidogo before, because the things that I do in a day, so much. Sometimes I have so much content to post, it takes me a month to post vitu za 1 week. Because I am doing so much. There's the services, there's a training like you said, there's the start. It's just, I always tell myself I can do it. I can do it, I can do it. And whenever, like, there's one thing that I do these days, because I realized because of too much work and taking on too much, I was extremely fatigued. I remember one time going to the hospital and the doctor was like, Rose, you're not sick, it's just mental fatigue. So these days when I get home, I go on flight mode, I turn on meditation music, I just lie down for like an hour. It's very good. And then every Thursday I'm off. I'll either go get a massage or have someone come to my house, massage me, or just relax. And then, because of my children, you know, I have a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old, and then it's very weird. My kids have the same energy. Shiona kama Tom and Jerry. Yeah. That's how my house is. So sometimes what I do, I will go check myself into an Airbnb for 2-3 days. By myself.
Interesting. And when someone sees you, maybe follows you on social media, they see the successful part of Rose. But what has been the most challenging, period that you've gone through? Because I know in every business, there's always that particular dark period that you go through. What exactly was it and how did you come out of it?
The most difficult one was going through a divorce, at the same time run a business because I fell sick. So getting out of that, I call it the funk, it was the hardest period because I ended up in debt. Nona, ujalipa rent inashikana.
Yes.
And then you have salaries that you need to pay. You have to make sure your people are paid. So getting back on my feet the mental part, people don't understand. There's a reason people are committing suicide everywhere, especially entrepreneurs.
Yes.
But if you don't quickly find out what's wrong with you and reset your mind and maybe find utter help. I actually had to take therapy.
Yes. Ah.
So even now,
it does help.
It helps
I think I
a
need
lot. Let me tell you, you don't have to be sick
True.
to see a therapist.
Yeah.
So I remember, like someone, my friend told me, Rose, you need therapy. I was like, I'm not crazy. She's like, no, you need someone who doesn't know you that you can talk to. So I remember the first time I went to the therapist, she took a box of tissues like that, put them on the table. I'm like, why is she doing this? And then she only asked me one question.
Yeah.
Rose, how was your childhood? Nililia kama mtoto.
Oh, the makeup skill actually
I cried for like 15 minutes.
Oh, to realize
She just hugged me, didn't say anything,
Yeah.
and then she would ask you like, how are you feeling and stuff like that. You find yourself opening up about all the feelings. You know, sometimes we think we are supermen, I'm a
True.
superwomen, and then you bottle all this. There's nothing as good as learning how to talk to people, especially people who don't know you, because you know how friends and people who know you are. Utawaambia hiyo story iko na watu 50.
True.
Before you know it, people's story iko tuko na kila mahali.
Yeah.
So it's just learning how to nasema aje kuachilia ile mzigo.
Yes.
I was carrying a lot. So coming like where I am at my best right now.
Wow.
My best.
It's been quite
Yeah.
You're in an industry that's, right now I can say it's highly competitive, given
Yeah.
that we are a country where we import a lot. Even
Yeah.
recently, was it Rihanna who was bringing some of
Yeah.
his products
Yeah.
and every influencer wants to be part of it.
Yeah.
So we're in a country where we import a lot of, and we've, I don't know, coincidentally or weirdly, we always find pride in associating ourselves with products that are from abroad. Wars, Louis Vuitton and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And here you are, you're trying to build a brand for the Kenyan market. How exactly has it been maneuvering such a highly competitive market? And a nation whereby we praise things from outside, think they're much better than us.
Exactly. Now let me tell you one thing, and this is a problem that we have in Kenya right now. And I'll explain to you why women will lean on to foreign brands. For women, beauty is very personal. Naelewa? Nile, iya nipatana na mwanamke leo mwambie, hey, hizo eyebrows. Hata bila kusema ni mbaya. That is it. Anashindwa, why is he saying that? And then immediately she'll go into the ugly.
Yes.
And then meet a woman and praise her and tell her, hey, I love your eyebrows.
Yes.
Just that.
Yeah.
Beauty is very personal to women. It makes her day. So now, with that said, people think products from Europe and the States are the best, and people want to be associated with high-end things.
True.
No.
Yeah.
This is all no. And people go to Dubai, they take lots of videos and photos. Nilienda maju, nilipanda ndege. Exactly. So now, when I brought my own brand, and I remember when Susie brought her own brand, her biggest challenge, and I'm saying this from experience because I worked for Susie Beauty as the head of makeup, was convincing people that a Kenyan could actually make quality products. Let me tell you, Kenyans are brilliant. There are products out here like that beat any foreign product. So now for me, again, I had to go through the same struggle with Susie, but Susie paved the way. So made my work a little bit easier, plus people knew me. But the hardest part was, like when a client will come and buy my makeup, they'll be like, is it like, I don't want to mention the brand. I'm like, it's better than. Try it. I've had clients come with those high-end brands that go for 7, 10K, take and they throw theirs away. It's all about ni kujiamini. Ni kama venye, let me give you an example. Unajua watu hujichukia. Ni kama ushaingia kwa shop ya Muhindi, Mkenya anakufuata nyuma lakini afati mzungu ama Muhindi, because anaona utaiba.
Yes.
Akuamini, just because of the white skin, they trust them more because they are foreigners. It is the same thing.
Yes.
Na labda ule Muhindi ndiye ataiba ama ule mzungu. You understand what I'm saying? So it's ile lack of kujiamini. Let me give you another example. Ushaenda mahali security wanakufungulia gate, alafu mnamwambia kitu anajidharau, anaonekana unamdharau because amezoea kudharauliwa. So for me, I believe in myself and my products. And my products, I can tell you, beat most of the foreign products. Because number one, I am very good in formulation. And I have studied this, I've been in this game for 14 years. Almost 15 now, 15. Nona. But it's all about Kenyan women believing in themselves. Unajua kama ujiamini utaniamini, because me ni Mkenya. But someone, and then I realized women, you'll ask them, which brand do you use? They'll mention one of the big brands. Na anatumia ile mwitu, ile fake. Just the name, being associated with the name itself, it's a big deal to them. So it's all about, like for me, I believe in myself. Even when I sell my brand online, I sell it without flinching. And I can sell it to anyone because I know. Even like my manufacturer in Canada is one of the biggest, does most of the big companies in the world. So it's all about kujiamini. You see, this is the other thing. Let me give you another example. I go to a wedding, I'm a makeup artist, right? So now, because I'm Kenyan, how much do you charge? I tell them my price. They're like, too much. And then they got a hairstylist from Turkey, and they're paying them 150,000 shillings just because they're Turkish and doing crap. Let me tell you, I was called to a wedding, and then the bride was like, Rose, you won't do my makeup? I have my makeup artist coming from Dubai. So you will do only the maids. Yes. I was like, it's fine. I don't even get offended because I know you, as a business person, you have to understand that's what, you don't take anything personal. So we went. I went with two of my girls. We did the makeup. Let me tell you, kidogo, I hear someone crying in the other room. It is the bride. She's begging me, Rose, can you look what she's done? Can you please do? She had paid her flight, accommodation, everything. And she had to pay her. Now, she did not trust me 100% because alikuwa anataka kujisikia in her big day, she had to get a foreigner. That mindset, we need to get rid of it. That's the only way. At a Kenyan, you know, the upcoming entrepreneurs will be able to make money if we believe in ourselves. There's no reason people have to go outside to buy everything. You understand?
It's a psychology. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
You've been at it, as you mentioned, 14 years.
Yeah.
If you were to start all over again right now, what would you do differently and what would you do right? What
I would do differently, let me see. What would I do differently? I think I would cry less. Because then I would understand it is a process. Because once you follow the process, people don't understand. You will succeed.
Yes.
Unajua sasa we give up along the way. Like me, I went to Meru twice. No. There's one time I stayed there for a year, selling charcoal, selling ghee, just trying to make ends meet. But if I would go back, especially to my younger self, and I knew the process, I would cry less and just man up more, a little bit more.
Because you understand the journey.
Yeah.
And what's it called? Something also very interesting that I also got found about you. You're also a goodwill ambassador, I think, for the cancer patients.
Yeah. I used to be. It's been a while. Yes. Yeah, I used to be. But I want to go back to it. I think I had to cancel it. We had some issues.
Yes.
But I'll go back to it. I love, because the one thing that people don't understand, people say beauty is superficial. One thing that people don't understand, watu wanasema, oh, when you wear makeup, when you wear lipstick, you have no self-esteem. Let me tell you. And I put up a post, Juicy, telling women, never give any excuses for wanting to look good. Trust me, Ian, your wife angekuwa huko na akikuwa mrembo ungemkatia.
Beauty is very
Trust
important.
Trust me.
I agree.
Men lie at you, me, I love
beauty is
natural.
Not in the heart.
Sijui nini, hakuna. Ukika sijui hivi, ataangalia mwingine nje, and that's the truth.
True.
So as a woman, if you look good, you feel good. And sometimes looking good comes with makeup. True. Makeup doesn't mean that I don't trust how I look. It's just to enhance.
Yes.
Now, maybe I have a few needs that I want to hide. Maybe the lips, I want to enhance them a little bit. It's just, so when I realized beauty is more than just the product, the colors and everything, I thought about the cancer patients, like the things that they go through. When a woman's hair starts falling off, also imeanza kukua pale, lips zimeanza kunini, their self-esteem goes down. So the thing that I was doing is I brought together people in the industry, nail technicians, and in a day we made them feel good about themselves. I remember, is it KTN Home NTV used to cover it every time, and the look on their faces when they had that wig on from darling hair and their nails done, she feels like a woman again. True. So for me, I call, like, our slogan is beauty with a difference. For me, it's,
you need to get back to it.
No, I'm going to get, after COVID, everything just went, vitu zikakuja zikakuwa confused, but I'm going back to it because it's something that I love.
Yes.
So for me, I try as much as I use beauty to make money, I also use it to enhance how people feel.
Interesting. Yeah. So I think as we just come to an end, I have like in 90 seconds, I have some, what's it called? Some questions.
Yes.
Quick fire.
Yeah.
And I'll like just answer whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
So the first one, if you could be transformed into one animal, which one would you choose?
A horse.
What is your hidden talent?
Cooking.
Money or happiness?
Happiness.
How do you usually answer the telephone?
Hi.
Are you more of an introvert or an extrovert?
I am a terrible introvert.
Wow. Would you rather travel to the past or to the future?
To the future, always.
Are you more of a thinker or a doer?
I'm a doer.
And then the final question, what do you think the meaning of life is?
Meaning of life is living it to your level best.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And on that particular note, we come to the end of the show, which has been a very interesting conversation with Rose Ntong'ondu, the founder of Makeup by Rose, Rubiella
Beauty.
My goodness, and she's doing quite a lot. You can check her out on her social media, Makeup by Rose, across all platforms, right?
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for having watched this show. Looking forward to having you next week. And we're here at the Capital Club, the place you need to be if you're an entrepreneur. And primarily through this particular network at the Capital Club, it will expose you to so much business and actually so much knowledge through some of the activities that happens here. My name is Ian Dennis, and this has been the Late Night Business. See you right here, same place next week. Bye-bye.